Yeah. Okay, welcome. Thank you for being here. This is Bindi. She was born in August. This is her father, Nakula. The other little one that you saw before is named Panda, and she was also born in August. Mama is out in the main part of the house, probably causing trouble of some kind. So this morning we're going to be stepping into the next of the yamas on the list. So we have 10 yamas and 12 niyamas. And we've been discussing so far ahimsa, satya, asteya, brahmacharya, aparigraha, daya, dhruti, arjava, and now we're at this yama called Ksama, Ksama, Ksama. And the word Ksama actually translates in a couple different ways. One is forbearance. And the other word that we might use is earth. So if you look at Ksama, it means having a quality of forbearance or resilience or forgiveness in the system. The system is more forgiving, not more rigid. And if you think of the earth and what she does in expressing forbearance, the seasons, the adaptation to our presence here on the planet in terms of the climate, sending us the symptoms that we're causing her to experience. She is expressing to the best of her ability this Ksama, this fortitude, forbearance, resilience. It doesn't mean that she's going to stay the same because we would want her to. She is responding to our actions. In the same regard, our resilience and our forbearance, it can't just stay the same at kind of like a high threshold, even if we had the value for that, because it's responding to how we are behaving or acting or what we're doing with our sleep, our food, our yoga, our conversations, and so on. I'm also struck by the timing of this to be our yama this week because the translation to the word earth from the word Ksama reminds me of when I was learning a particular song at Breitenbush Hot Springs, where I lived many years ago for 4 years. We were learning a song as a part of a Sufi dance. And this particular song had the word mir. We would sing Mir Mir Mir. And this is a Russian word, and it means peace. It also means earth. And so the song that we were learning, this is now decades ago for me. My teacher at the time was Jamshed. He was a resident at Breitenbush, and he was a Sufi. And he taught these Sufi dances and Sufi songs that were so healing. And this particular song went like this. Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir. So the first line, Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir. So the first line is spirit of peace. The word mir means peace. So spirit of peace. The second line, to your cause, to the cause of peace, we give our strength. To your cause we give our strength. The next line, that love may reign, R-E-I-G-N, and war may cease. That love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir. Peace, peace, peace. Also earth, earth, earth. There's a whole dance that goes with this, but I'm not going to show you the dance because it's a circle dance and you need partners and such, but one more time it goes like this. Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir. Mir Mir Mir. So that is my focus for our class today. May we give our strength to Ukraine and Russia and everyone involved, everyone who wants peace. May we give our strength even to those who don't, that they might discover the wrongdoing or the misdirection of their actions. So please take a comfortable seat so that you're upright, and you could imagine yourself like an antenna sending your strength to the cause of peace. We give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. We have strength not just in the physical body, but also the strength of our concentration, the strength of our commitment, the strength of our intentions. Breathing in and breathing out, let yourself connect in whatever way strength is present for you right now. Maybe a deep desire, a strong desire for peace or reconciliation or humanity to come through. And welcome your breath to be a guide for how you can drop down to the source of strength, like the source of your own inner presence. Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, and love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir, Mir Mir Mir. Please bring your hands together at your heart. May our practice reconnect us with our inner strength and fortitude, our forbearance, this quality of Ksama. And may we apply it with wisdom. We're not meant to have greater resilience just to bear toxic circumstances, to have the resilience to be a part of solutions or to make change, to be resilient enough to support causes of change. May this practice also help us to see where we are diminishing our resilience in daily life, and we can prevent ourselves from continuing those kinds of patterns. And please release your hands and open your eyes. We're going to shift to a practice that we were doing last week, where I'd like you to have 2 blankets to act as a bolster. And so you're going to place the blankets this way, and then reach for a block, which you may need to have under your head. You won't know that just yet, but you'll know it soon. Okay. Please lie on your back so your shoulder blades go on the 2 blankets. And when you lie backwards, you can check and see to what extent your head would be supported with or without a blanket, in a block, excuse me, if the arms go to cactus pose. So get kind of a preview here for a moment. And then reach for 1 block and place it first on the flat setting under your head, and ask for yourself, does that feel more comfortable, more spacious, less comfortable? What happens for your shoulders or your upper back? And then You could try it on the medium setting. So you're getting a sense for yourself about what would be an ideal place for the block. And not asking, like as if getting your head to the floor is the goal, but really asking instead, where is it more breathable? Where do the chest and shoulders feel more supported? At what angle for your head? This is our little preview. So now I'm going to ask you to put this block aside and interlace your fingers at the back of your head. Keeping your shoulder blades on the blankets, lean your head very slightly back over, and perhaps your knuckles will touch the floor. Reach through your elbows towards the wall behind you. Stretch out through your legs towards the wall that's on the other side. Now, holding your head with your left hand, stretch your right arm straight out towards the wall behind you. And then curl your head, chest, and shoulders up. Bend your right elbow. Place your hand under, palm facing towards your shoulder blades. Hold your right elbow with your left hand, and then lie back. So you've fixed your right hand underneath the shoulder blade and on top of the blanket. And then as you lie back, stretch your right elbow towards the wall behind you. Use your left hand to support that. So reaching in that direction, turn your head to your left. Keep lengthening from your right sideways to your right shoulder girdle to your right elbow. There is a slight back bend in the upper chest and heart. Then rotate your head to center. Now bend your left knee, or both if you like, and roll to the outer right shoulder and rib cage, and just give a little massage right there. And then roll onto your shoulder blade again. And we're going to do that a few times. So as you roll, you can do both knees if you want to. They can both be bent. Or you can do just one leg. It's really up to you. The rolling onto the outer rib cage is the purpose. So this is a massage of sorts for the shoulder blade and the side chest, the lymph system, the armpit. And then roll onto your back one more time. And you might find now that you could snug the right hand further under the right shoulder blade because you've released some of that myofascial holding or you've had a little bit of stretch time. So try sneaking your right hand further down your upper back. And take a deep breath. And stretch the legs back out. And now we're going to hold the head with the left hand again. Stretch the right arm straight out overhead and see to what extent it might be more comfortable to put your head on the floor. Reach both arms overhead and notice how the right arm and left arm feel in relationship to each other. And hold your head with your right hand. Lift your chest and shoulders. Bend the left elbow. Place your hand under. Take your left elbow with your right hand. So now your left hand is fixed underneath your shoulder blade and on top of the blanket. It's really helpful to get the fingers fixed there because it closes one of the variables. And as you're stretching overhead on the blanket, now turn your nose to your right. In this process, as you're reaching through here, notice the difference left to right. That's always likely to be there, some difference. Rotate your head to center. You can bend your right knee or both knees and roll onto your left outer rib cage and the armpit too. So often we just think in yoga here, especially here in the West, we think of the stretching of the muscles and the joints, but also it's really helpful to have the myofascial system and the lymph system in our consideration. So as you're rotating here on the left outer chest, you can think of both of those systems. That is the lymph in the armpit and the armpit chest, as we call it in Iyengar yoga. And then also the myofascial system wrapping around the rib cage. Okay, please lie on your back again, and let's check and see if it's possible that your left hand goes further down your upper back. Stretch the legs out, lengthen overhead. And then let's release the left arm overhead. Hold your head with your right hand. Lay your head down gently. Take the right arm overhead as well. And then come to Cactus Pose. Listen for what feels like the comfort zone now. And for some of you, it might be comfortable to have your head on the floor now. Others may go from the medium block to the small block or the flat block. Some of you might still want the flat or the medium block. Listen for where there's any sense of change or like recirculation, more pliability in your body. And then bend your knees and please roll to your side. Come up. And let's put the blankets aside and reach for both blocks. Place them on your mat so that they're going to be shoulder width apart. Okay, so welcome to your lymph system, which is part of what we're going to be addressing. And we're often addressing it. So right now what we're going to be doing is a position where your hand and arm are going to go overhead like this, but supported by the two blocks. So if you'll place the blocks so that they are shoulder width apart, then put your elbow in the center of each block. Put the palms together like you're praying, but then it's really important. I want you to press your wrists and palms away from each other so that you've made the arms more or less parallel. Keeping the palms together keeps your arm in internal rotation. So separating the hands like this puts it into external rotation. And as you reach back, take the hips back, almost like you're going to go to dog pose or kind of near to child's pose, but put the hands over the back of your head. It's okay for the head to relax, but within reason. So it should not feel like your head is like Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. It can be soft and relaxed, but don't hang it so low that the inner armpits are sinking towards the floor. In fact, you can think of lifting the inner armpits, which is done by wrapping the outer edge of the shoulder blades around the rib cage. And that is done by thinking of it and also by pressing your fingerprints against each other. Because that pressure from your fingers is rotating the upper arm bones. Let's take a few more breath cycles. And then roll yourself forward onto your forearms. Now I hope that the blocks feel stable enough to you that you can put your hips down and come into what we call Sphinx pose. And we're doing this Sphinx pose on the block. So press down through your elbows against the blocks, raise your chest and your heart up. And of course, if this is too much back bend for you, put the blocks flat or put them aside. Raise up through the crown of your skull. And listen for how the breath feels in your body right now. What kind of space is there for the breath? What kind of welcome does it have? Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir. Press into your knees, lift the lower belly, come up, and let's return. And then roll to the center of the elbows and the blocks, walk your knees forward. And now when you come to kneeling, let the arms dangle. If possible, the hands don't reach the floor. And just notice the subtle circulation process moving from your heart down over your arms and shoulders. Your lymph system is moving, circulation moving. Notice what's changing with the breath. You know, sometimes we use the word like uptight. People feel uptight. Someone is uptight, uptight, like in here. And that tightness is often a reflection that we're not feeling very resilient. We aren't feeling pliable, flexible, or forbearing. We're feeling tight or rigid like that. So let's continue working in this way. I'd like you to come up to standing, and it's helpful if you have a yoga strap. So take your strap, please. Make a loop in it like this one has already a loop prepared. Take your right hand in the strap so your palm faces across the midline. Raise this up overhead and reach back to hold the strap behind you with your left hand. With the left hand, pull straight back. So what you've got here is you're pulling back with the left, and that's causing some resistance for the right. So reach up with your right arm, aim it skyward like an arrow. I'd like your right arm to be strong. It's actually resisting the left arm. Turn your right tricep forward. So that right shoulder blade is coming around the side of the chest. And then breathe in, breathe out, and consider the strength of your actions in the physical pose, the strength of your concentration. Strength doesn't mean rigid. It doesn't mean uptight. As you feel into your strength, start lifting the heart like a little standing back bend. The right arm should feel like it can resist a bit the left arm. So the upper arm, the top arm is resisting the bottom arm. Gently open your throat. And then exhale, use your lower belly, release your left hand, take the right arm forward and down, catch the strap in your right hand and relax and feel that runoff that's happening. Mir, mir, mir. Put the strap in the other hand. Take it up so your left palm is going to face across the midline. I know you can't see my left hand right now. The camera is not far enough back because the room isn't big enough. So you'll just see up to where you can see. Reach with your right hand. Pull back with the right arm. Reach up strongly with the left arm. You might think of the word strength, including the word determination. We talked about that a lot in the November, December part of our immersion from the fall. The word for determination is abhyasa, a determined commitment. When you're reaching up like this, add to your sense of determination this Ksama, the forbearing quality. So root down into your heels, raise up with your heart. And start encouraging a little bit of a back bend. And the back bend is navigated by the heart, not the lower back, not the armpit, but from your heart. And exhale, tone the lower belly, raise yourself up, release the strap from the bottom arm, and you can catch it with what was the top arm. And notice again the circulation going back down your arm. And then please take a wide stance. Put the strap into your right hand. This time raise it up in front of you and take the strap with the left arm. So you've got this, looks like geometry class. You've got this right angle. Left arm is the bottom of that. Remember that graph we had to draw? So the left arm is, I don't know, the y-axis, and the right arm is the x-axis, something like that. Keep this distance between them. And as you reach up, then come over. And now the left hand is pulling down on the strap, and the right hand is going to resist that. Turn your right palm to face the floor, please. Let's also keep the hips centered. Press into your left footprint, and as you next inhale, raise your right heel. And then exhale and glide your right heel back towards the floor as if you could make the leg a little bit longer, as if you're telescoping it from your hip down to your heel. And then exhale, rise up. Using the exhale means using the lower belly to bring yourself back up. Release your right arm and notice again, even the right side of the face, the right side of the neck, right shoulder. And place the left hand in the strap. Raise this up. Put your geometry class on the other side. And as you're reaching up, if it's helpful for some of you, you could wrap the strap around your hand. It'll be easier to hold than clutching the strap. And then please side bend to your right. So the left palm is going to face the floor. And keep the hips centered so the hips are not going to hula to the left, not a sachet. Just notice the inner feeling tone of the breath, your connection to your strength. And then add this word Ksama. What does it mean for strength to also be yielding, forbearing, resilient, adapting? Raise your left heel. And then telescope the left leg so your heel's going back towards the floor, as if your leg could get longer. And then exhale, use the left low belly to rise up and release, catching the strap in your left hand. Mir Mir Mir. Let's put the strap aside. And we're going to pick up some of the practices from yesterday's class. So stay with your wide stance and please come forward and down to put 2 blocks ahead of you so that your arms are stretched out, almost like you're doing downward dog pose with your arms and shoulders. Relax the weight of your head. And as you're energizing the legs here, root from your hips down into your heels and toes. Turn your feet very slightly out from parallel. And keeping your hands fixed where they are, please bend your right knee deeply. Come down to the right. You might notice the upper inner left thigh or the outer right hip or heel. And inhale, raise back up to center. Pace that movement with the length of your in-breath. And exhale, come down to your left. Pacing this movement with the length of your exhale. Inhale up to center. And exhale to your right. Continue with the pace of your breath. So you're gliding side to side on the exhale. Return to center on the inhale. As you exhale to glide down to one side, really think about the strength of the opposite leg, the leg that stays straight. Sometimes we put our attention on the leg that's weight bearing, so we end up forgetting about the other one a bit. So try to divide your attention respectfully between both legs. The next time that you're coming down to the right, I'd like you to stay there. Draw back with both hips and sitting bones. Let's keep the right knee gently pressed out in the direction of the toes of your right foot, so it won't collapse in towards your rib cage. Pick up the toes of your left foot and rotate them towards the ceiling. So you're on the back of your left heel for a moment. And then inhale, glide your hips to center, replace the left foot on the floor. And exhale, come down to your left. And trust your body weight in your left outer hip, outer heel, pinky toe. Keep the right leg strong as well. And rotate your right toes up towards the ceiling. So your right knee also rotates towards the ceiling. You'll be on the back of your right heel. And then inhale, glide back up to center. And let's walk the hands onto the floor between the feet. So it's foot, hand, hand, foot. You can bow towards the legs. Shift your hands to your hips, please, and rise up to standing. What's going to happen here is that your circulation and your lymph are going to be resolving or rebalancing. So come to mountain pose. When you get to mountain pose, relax your mind and try to sense the physiological intelligence. It's all happening right now on your behalf. Now there's one more position I'd like us to do before Surya namaskar. When you take a wide stance, we'll do feet parallel for now. We're going to be coming down and then adding warrior two to the right leg first. And this is a kind of, I call this the football yoga pose combo position, because when we're adding it, it looks like you're on the scrimmage line. Okay, so come down to prasarita. You could use blocks under your hands if you need that or prefer that. Then turn your right foot parallel, bend your right knee, and take your right hand up against the right knee to press your knee open. So your right leg would look like warrior two, but your torso stays on the scrimmage line, which is ahead of you. If you're able to, straighten your right arm. And you'll find the upper inner right thigh, maybe the whole of the right thigh, the outer right hip perhaps, or your right side waist. Notice what's happening in the breath and your mind, and what happens inside if you were to say to yourself the word Ksama. You're here today to practice the resilience or the forbearance like the earth. May we be able to send our strength on behalf of others. What happens to your inner sense of dedication or abhyasa in the pose if you bring that to mind? And knowing that the word Ksama also means earth, and in Russian, the word Mir also means peace. We want to practice determination without overriding our inner sense of peacefulness or our peaceful nature. Go ahead and straighten the right leg, make your foot parallel. Place your right fingertips on the floor, turn your left toes out, come down to the other side. It's possible that some of you are going to benefit from turning the right foot slightly in. The toes can turn in because it will help your pelvis to feel more forgiving to go down to the left in this kind of warrior two combination. So as you're pressing your left arm against your knee, let the breath come smoothly in and out on behalf of Ksama. And the Sanskrit word for peace is Shanti. And then inhale, straighten your left leg. Let's make the feet parallel and come down once more to Chatara Parivartanasana. You can do the hand position between the feet. And then shift your hands to your hips and please rise up to standing. And let's one more time go heel toe, please, until you can come into mountain pose. Let the arms relax. Notice an overall sense of the whole of your body. What is this ecology in you feeling like just now? Let's step to the front of the mat for Surya namaskar. And I'm going to request that we use 2 blocks this morning. So facing, and this is actually to the east. I am fortunate in that regard that this is east. I'm facing south when I see you. So face whatever direction your situation allows you to. But on the other hand, you could consider facing to the east for Surya namaskar. Join your hands to your heart. Let's come into the Ujjayi breath now and make it a consistent, benevolent presence to help guide your practice. Inhalation, sweep your hands down, turn the palms open, rise up. Exhale, bow forward, come down, and as you touch the 2 blocks, exhale by firmly pressing the hands down, use the deeper inner belly. Inhale, glide forward. Exhale, take your left toes straight back. Inhale, rise up to your crescent. Exhale, see if you can find your balance inside with your eyes closed. You're going to notice that when you close the eyes, it's possible that you'll have some little wobbles and bobbles, but that your body can practice keeping a relative sense of center, a relative sense of strength and expansiveness. So it's really something that you can navigate in the inner body. Keep the Ujjayi breath smooth. Next exhale, open the arms wide and come down. You know where the blocks are, so you can practice doing this with the eyes closed. And then inhale, step to plank pose. And exhale, reach back, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Inhale, rise to your crescent. Sweep the arms up overhead. And again, checking that you have the stability and the strength, of course, you're working within reason. You can practice closing the eyes to see if you're going to be able to be with the inner bobbles and wobbles while still maintaining a relative sense of your plumb line. a relative sense of your center of gravity, and without contracting, right? We're keeping a spacious attitude to the best of our ability. With an exhale, go ahead and open the arms wide, and as you come forward and down, you'll know where the blocks are. Touch them, and then let's inhale to plank pose, please. Exhale, reach back to downward dog. You're certainly welcome to open the eyes if you like. You could gaze back between the heels. And then inhale forward to plank. Exhale, point the toes of one foot, then point the toes of the other foot, and shift to the basic structure of seal pose. Then inhale, lift up and look up. Exhale, plank. Inhale, downward dog. And exhale, 1 foot forward, 2nd foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Let's continue. Now we're going to bring in some of the eye exercises from the last 10 days or so, how we've been doing those. So with your next inhale, sweep the hands down, raise your arms up. Exhale, bow forward to Uttanasana and look under your right armpit. Inhale, glide forward, gaze forward. Exhale, bow over your legs, look under the left armpit. Look beyond, actually. Inhale, glide forward, lift the base of your skull, bring your gaze forward. Exhale, step your left foot straight back. Inhale, rise to your crescent. And exhale, follow your right thumb to open the arms. Inhale, raise up, but catch your thumb meeting the other thumb. Exhale, open, follow your right thumb with your eyes. Inhale, raise up. Once more. Notice that what you're looking at is in focus. What's beyond it is blurry. And then exhale, arms wide. Let's come down. Touch the two blocks. Inhale to plank pose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Enjoy the in-breath. And then exhale, left foot forward. Inhale to rise, crescent. And then follow your left thumb. I'll raise your arms. Trace that with your eyes. Exhale, we'll do it 3 times. It's possible that you're feeling challenged. And getting to explore right now the experience of Ksama. The word again is forbearance and also resilience. You can bow over the left leg. Inhale to plank pose. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, step through to the structure of seal pose. And then inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, plank. And inhale, downward dog. Okay, exhale, right foot forward. Pivot the left heel. Rise up to warrior two. And gaze at your right thumb. If you spread the fingers out, your right thumb should be within view. While keeping your balance, and maintain like a visual memory of your right thumb. And then close your eyes. Maintain the practice, your breath and your mind, your attention and your intention. As you're inwardly, with the eyes closed, gazing at your right thumb, imagine where the left thumb is, and inwardly gaze at your left thumb. And then to the right thumb again. And then exhale, windmill the arms over your right leg. And let's inhale backwards to dog pose. And exhale forward with your left foot. Turn your right heel to the floor. And inhale, windmill the arms up to warrior two. Gaze at your left thumb. Let's relax the shoulder blades down away from the ears so we're not uptight. Maintaining your pose, you can close your eyes. Keep the breath smooth so everything is still. The yoga continues, you've only just closed the eyes. So your drishti is from memory, having an image of the left thumb. Imagine the right thumb, imagine gazing at that. And then to your left thumb again. And then windmill the arms over your left leg and inhale backwards to downward dog pose. And inhale forward to seal pose. Exhale, table pose. And then reach the hips back. Let's cross the ankles. So you have one ankle on top. Reach your hips back and your arms forward. And inhale, come forward to table pose. Change the cross of the ankles. Exhale, reach back. And again, inhale, come forward. Change the cross of the ankles. Exhale, reach back. Again. Change the ankles. Exhale, reach back. And then inhale forward to table pose. Let's bring the knees and feet into child's pose. Walk your hands back on the yoga mat where you prefer them to be for your child's pose. Please come up to Vajrasana. Come up to kneeling. Rest your hands in your lap. Definitions of forbearance or resilience is that an object can be bent out of its original shape and it can return. So resilience is our ability to adapt or to have this bend ability in our life that then we are still returning back to our truest, deepest nature. If you were wobbling or bobbling in the standing poses, your true nature was still there. Your essence was not leaving you because you were wobbling or bobbling. You might have been forgetting your essence while you were wobbling and bobbling, but it wasn't forgetting you. While we're sitting, kneeling now, I'd like you to inhale, take your eyes closed, but move the eyes to the right. Exhale, glide your eyes to the left, keeping them closed. Now inhale, go up in a half circle and over to the right. Exhale, down under the cheekbones and to the left. Inhale, up and over to the right. Exhale, down under the cheekbones, over to the left. And then back to center. Now inhale, gaze to your left with the eyes closed. Exhale, right smoothly, gaze to the right, eyes closed. Inhale, look up and over, half circle over to the left. Exhale, down under the cheekbones and to the right. Inhale, up, half circle over and down to the left. And exhale, down and to the right. And then back to center. Okay, now that is a practice that we've been working with, is what we call the eye yoga, the yoga of the eyes. Please come up to standing. And I'd like us to explore tree pose. We're going to stand on one block. Okay, so there's my block. We'll see if the eye activities and the practice so far are giving you an opportunity to either feel and discover a place to balance inside, or to be a little bit wobbly and bobbly, but not to lose your mental balance. So step up onto your right leg. Place your left foot. And then palms together at the heart. The standing leg has the presence of the foot of the opposite leg. You can place it where you'd like, but the standing leg should have equal force back against the raised foot. Equal means equal. Doesn't mean more than or less than, but equal force. You may raise the arms. Even if there's bobbles and wobbles, the mind can still have resilience, acceptance. Even if you step down, accepting and stepping back in. This is my new hip. It's 6 months old. Okay, and then we're going to exhale the hands back to the heart and step down purposely, step down off of the block. And notice what happens when you come down. Of course, you might feel more grounded. So then put your other foot, the left foot, up on the block. Remembering we want to send our strength. So to your cause, we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. So place your left foot and then step up. And place your right foot, giving equal strength from your standing leg against the raised foot. Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength. Arms down, hands to the heart. Letting our strength be sent outwards. You can step down thoughtfully. Notice when you get back to even ground, also what happens there. Now I'd like you to take a chair and bring it onto your mat, please. Hopefully you have a chair that you like and you feel some confidence in. Chair. If you'd like to pad the upper back of the chair, you could. You don't have to, but you're welcome to. Take a seat on the front edge of your chair. Okay. Interlace your fingers at the small of your back, or you could hold the yoga strap around your wrists and then hook your hands over the upper back of the chair. Now, if placing your hands there is really hard because the upper back of the chair is taller than your shoulders are flexible for, then please sit up on a blanket or two or three, or sit on a couple of blocks so that the upper back of the chair is not too tall for you. Then lift your heart. Squeeze the shoulders back. Bring the head to center. This is going to be, this is preparation for shoulder stand and bridge pose and so on, but it's also really helpful for your limb system when we have the release of this pose. Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir. Mir Mir. Okay, let's release the hands from the position. Let your arms dangle from the shoulders down. And notice the subtle and not so subtle sensations as the warmth returns down your arms. Now we're gonna play with something here. Sorry, excuse me. We're gonna play with the pose that we've been doing actually quite a bit of, because I'm very interested in you having a full yoga practice in spite of the fact that we're online on Zoom still with the pandemic, and also now that we're an international community, we don't live regionally. So I'm going to teach this pose here today with the two blankets folded. Just check that you've got them folded without lumps or bumps. And let me say, for those of you who are not familiar with this practice, or you've been doing it with me and you'd really like to better understand it, how to set it up, what the structure is, what the progression actually is, there is a yoga therapy clinic coming up now. It's on Monday, March 21st at 4 p.m. And the topic is shoulder stand and the pineal and the pituitary glands and the upper three chakras. It's also really looking at the structure of your shoulder stand and how to make it suitable, because here we don't all have good camera angles, so I can't see every one of you. Plus I'm demonstrating, so I also can't turn my head and see you all and be specifically helpful. Whereas at the yoga studio, I used to walk around and give you individual smiles. You were in your shoulder stand and I could smile down on you like that. So this is where we step over the chair. I often like to say, as if it was a bar stool, which tells you how often I've sat at a bar stool, because apparently people don't sit like this on bar stools. So I've had that misconception for a long time. So when you sit backwards on the chair like this, we're going to be going down the chair backwards. So you put your legs up over, you slide your hips towards the opening of the chair there, and then you're sliding backwards. And of course, this will be much more broken down as a process if you come to the clinic. Now, a couple things to say, because I'm pretty comfortable here. Where you end up on the chair is a combination of the height and thickness of your blankets, the height of your chair, the length of your torso, your shoulder flexibility, so many things. If it's painful where you are landing right now, you could add padding between your hips and the chair. You could add a blanket under the shoulders instead. So you're going to be a little bit higher or in a slightly different spot on the chair. Or you can come to the clinic and I will help you to modify as you need to with whatever your yoga props are at home. Okay, so then we press the shoulders down really firmly against the two blankets. Please hold the legs of the chair with your hands, and we'll take the legs up to supported shoulder stand. You can close your eyes and take your gaze towards your heart. Keep the heart lifted so the shoulders are still grounded. The pose is supported, but it does need you to be paying attention at the shoulders, shoulder blades, thoracic spine. You notice that the blood supply is moving towards your head and face more than it does in daily life. You may have some pressure in your face. They won't stay that much longer. You always can come down when you're ready to, of course. You don't have to wait for my timing or the class's timing. What we're going to do is touch the feet to the top of the chair and then to the seat of the chair. And if you have longer legs, that is harder to do because your hips are still on the chair. Put your hands on the floor behind your head without pulling your hair. And then you lift and slide down gracefully, also without choking yourself with your t-shirt or any other shirt. And then we're going to tip the chair like that so that the feet are still higher and the knees are supported. And notice sort of the after echo of that particular pose. Take the arms into a T shape. Bring your knees towards your chest so that they fall towards the chest because the blankets are right there supporting you across the top of the pelvic bones, the ilium. And then roll your knees down towards your right armpit and back to center, then towards the left armpit. So we're going to go side to side. This is called Chatara Parivartanasana, and it means the churning of the belly. And sometimes it's done when you go side to side. It can be done with straight legs. But for those where the hamstrings don't allow for the legs to be straight, we recommend the version where the knees are bent. Otherwise, if you'd like to do it with straight legs, it would be the case that your legs they're not moving away from your torso or your head as you do it. We want the churning of the belly, not the rigor of the hip flexors. The knees bent is fine and effective. This is really more of an abdominal churning and massaging, not a competition for the hamstrings. Let's go one more time to the left. And then back to center. And take the feet up. Relax the belly. And let's put the arms where you most prefer them, which could be one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, or palms face up out to the side. Or something else as well. Maybe the hands are on the rib cage, the solar plexus, or some place that you feel loved or cared about. Your mind and body to come into resting, integrating. And welcome the possibility that a kind of inner forbearance or resilience can be restored in you. You could picture a reservoir that is slowly filling up with water right now, that your inner reserves are filling up. And you're resting really deeply in the Shavasana. Remind yourself that inner resilience is not just a mental attitude. It is also needing physical resource inside. Enough vitality, enough prana. As you're resting, take your gaze deeply inward. And imagine a reservoir. It's being refilled from a larger source. A moment. Allow yourself to really deeply rest. The mind is not meddling, it's not intruding, as the reservoir is being refilled. Body to be heavy with relaxation. Encourage the mind to be at rest, not commenting, not intruding or distracting. Allow the integration to be deeply penetrating. The mind continues going down. The reservoir continues to be filled. Relaxation to go a few degrees deeper now. Imagine that the relaxation that you've been receiving, this inner reservoir that's been getting replenished, imagine this as a memory you can tap back into, that you can feel this as a resource inside. Right? And then begin to wiggle your fingers, your toes. Shift your feet to the front of the chair. Roll down to your right side. You can rest there for a few moments. And then when you rise up, make your meditation seat, please. To your seat, please support yourself to be stable and upright, a way that you feel like you're not going to be distracted. Rest your hands in your lap. Spirit of peace, to your cause we give our strength, that love may reign and war may cease. Mir Mir Mir, Mir Mir Mir. Yourself to sit in the plumb line, resourced by a larger presence, a larger energy. May this resourcing that we have done, may we be able to give our strength to the cause for peace. Mind stay quiet, the thinking mind, the habit mind, they can rest. Mir Mir Mir, Mir Mir Mir, Mir Mir Mir, Mir Mir. Mir Mir Mir, 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 Mir Mir Mir. your hands to your heart. Imagine the inner sense of peace that we're cultivating. Place that in your heart and also in the palms of your hands. And then raise that to your forehead, to the place of vision. And then place it back down in the heart. And then we share it with all who are around us in both directions. And then also with each other. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Close the recording.